Alyssa brings with her so much experience internationally. You know, she was very fortunate to be a part of the U20, U17, and even the full Canadian national team. So her calmness out there, she brings a great presence, and she's a beast in the air. And then just really her vision, you know, she's able to play make from the back, she's able to carry and set play, but she's just a great leader back there. And, you know, between her and Alyssa, we definitely have some generals, so it's nice to see that.
So that game changers comment, that wasn't just the first time you'd used that to respect to that group. And I also wonder, you know, there's been years where it felt like if you were going to get a goal, you know, there was one or two players was probably going to come from. You feel like you got a much more diverse attack.
We do. I mean, we talked about game changers last year, you know, trying to change the mindset of, you know, young women that they're not subs, you know, they're not forgotten, they're needed, and everyone's needed. You know, we go to the bench to make changes to the roster, to the formation, to bring energy, to change the game. And so, you know, our players, we need them to be ready for that opportunity, whether it be in the first 5 minutes subbing off the bench or the last 2 minutes, and making sure they're hungry and knowing their responsibilities on the ball. You know, the threats up top, they all bring something different. You know, they all have different qualities. And Bailey's a runner. Eden Hardy has been having a great preseason. She's a runner. Marissa's really good and savvy with the ball at her feet. You know, Emma is just a workhorse up there. And so for me, I don't care who puts the ball in the back of the net as long as it goes in. And so it was nice to see different people score, but also the players that need it were able to score.
In that same vein, what do you kind of think your team's best formation will be this year that kind of suits them?
You know, we operate out of different systems. You know, we're always going to have 4 in the back, and then, you know, from there we'll either have 3 in the midfield, depending on, you know, what shape we're going to use that in, 1 holding or 2 holding. Maybe up top we'll pinch our 3 very narrow or keep them wide and stretched out. It really depends on, you know, the opponent. It depends on, you know, what players are in form here. You know, everything from a 4-4-2 with a diamond in the midfield. We've got some players that can fill those roles. And, you know, I think after watching the World Cup, there were a lot of 3-backs, but I'm not sure we're ready for a back 3 quite yet.
When you go through a camp like this and you're getting all of the pieces lined up, and you got an exhibition game and then a string of non-conference games, how long does it kind of take you to get a sense of where this team is, what your rotations are going to be in that?
You know, our goal is to be hitting form by Pac-12, you know, and that's ultimately the goal. All these non-conference games prepare us for Pac-12 play. And we all know the Pac-12 is the best conference in the country for women's soccer. It has been for the past 2 years with both national champions with Stanford and USC the 2 past years. So for us, these, you know, we talk about this weekend moving players around. We're, you know, a couple injuries that we had during preseason. We'll slowly be getting those players back. You know, I'm trying to make sure that we're firing all cylinders over the next couple weeks. You know, that Portland game will be a good game for us. I think that will be a good measuring stick that we'll be able to use that going, okay, we use these past 6 games as a trial and error, and then let's make sure Portland we're firing all cylinders.
And looking around the Pac-12, I mentioned USC and Stanford. Where else do you see teams that are going to be contending, and where do you kind of feel you guys are going to be in the mix?
Well, you know, Stanford is going to be legit. They were a special team last year, but they did graduate. You know, Andy Sullivan was a big part of their team and their heart and soul. I think Cal has a good roster this year. And then, you know, for us, you know, Arizona and Colorado have always been really difficult to play. So, you know, we have to make sure that we're just approaching one game at a time. And even taking that back to one practice at a time, one drill at a time. And, you know, not looking down the road, but really being present in the moment. And what are we doing to get better right now at this moment? So that's kind of what we're focusing on at Stony Brook. And I don't think we've even mentioned Clemson quite yet. The staff has, obviously, but, you know, we're still focusing on that Stony Brook game.
Last season, you guys didn't really shy away from the goal being an NCAA tournament berth. Do you see that as the goal again this season?
Absolutely. You know, being a part of the Pac-12 means we're playing in the most competitive conference in the country. We want to be the best. You know, and in order to do that, we've got to be competing in the NCAA tournament. And that's a, you know, goal here at the University of Oregon. We want all of our teams to be successful in playing in postseason. So our players are, excited for it. I don't think that's something that's weighing on their shoulders. I think they're trying to be present in the moment, and they're having some fun with each other. And it's nice to see just the chemistry on the field and most importantly off the field right now.
What do you think it's going to take this season for you guys to get over that hump and make that tournament
We
appearance?
got to score more goals. We got to score more goals and give up less. Basically, that boils down to it. And I think we've got those players in place. We have some good leadership returning. We have 9 seniors. If you count Taylor Kuroda, a senior in there, she did her ACL. So technically we have 10. But she'll be back next year for a redshirt 5th year. So that's a lot of experience. And I think we definitely will need to rely on that experience when you're going through highs and lows of a soccer season. We're very compact. Our season is fast pace. It is the shortest amount of days as far as our games goes. There's not much days in between and rest. So when you have something that pops up, any kind of adversity, it's how quickly can that team process it, move on, and go on to the next tackle. And so kind of our theme for this year is climbing a mountain. We want to be able to climb that mountain, that peak. We not be settled for that first mountain. We want to go back and get that next mountain. And the courage it takes as a team to go up that mountain, and how do we get up there? And there's going to be different parts of the season where someone's going to lead and someone's going to be in the back making sure everyone's okay. And there's going to be peaks and valleys along the way, and how do we manage that?